Yo, man, it's Kiki So Hood, your host of Mind Power Podcast. Today we diving headfirst into Goatman. Half goat, half man. So it claimed to be some type of entity that hunts the woods around the area of the bridge. It's located in Denton, Texas, roughly 45 minutes from Fort Worth, Texas, and Dallas, Texas. Yep. So, me being lucky enough, I only live 30 minutes away, so I pulled up. Hey, look, and I ain't even gonna lie. I'd never go back to that place at dark time. Cause it was creepy as fuck during the day. So it's like, you don't never know what's gonna go on during the nighttime. You don't even know the vibe. So just simply walk around during the daytime, it's like an eerie type of feeling, like somebody watching you and stalking you and following you and whatnot. So like even when you're walking through there, you see like all signs and symbols and shit all on the trees, spray painted and shit. It's weird. So with that being said, go at your own risk, cause I ain't going with you. But let's go ahead and dive head first into this Goatman legend. So, boom, let's get on the history. The bridge was built back in 1884 by the King Iron Manufacturing Bridge Company. Its original purpose was to carry horses and automobiles across the river, though it is called Old Alton Bridge. The community of Alton had already dispersed, like they dipped, by 1884. Denton County itself was formed in 1846, and the first attempt at settling the county seat was Pinckneyville. That was the Texas governor at the time. However, water shortages forced politicians to move 2 years later in 1848. So the new town site was located on a high ridge between Pecan Creek and Hickory Creek, and it was called Boom Alton. So it didn't even earn the Goatman title until half a century later, when an African American man named Oscar Washburn settled in that area. His living was raising and selling goats. He was successful, and the most of the community was supportive and friendly towards Washburn and his family. But unfortunately, the local Ku Klux Klan was not so pleased. So Washburn posted a sign on the bridge, which read, "This way to the Goatmans." And that right there ran the members of the Klan hot. And on a fateful night in August of 1938, they drove their cars across the bridge with their headlights off, took Washburn from his home and family, and dragged him to the bridge. The legend goes that they then fitted a noose over his head and threw him over the side of the bridge. But when they looked to see whether he was dead, his body disappeared. They returned to his home and slaughtered his family. And according to the legend, Washburn was never seen or heard from again. Or was he? And it's like, back in the day, I can only imagine what everybody went through. And with me reading up on it, they actually went and burned his family alive in their house. It's like, how did this man's success really piss y'all off this much to go and do that? Like, that don't even make no sense. Yeah. So since I gave y'all a little bit of history, we're going to go ahead and roll into the paranormal side of Goatman's Bridge in Denton, Texas. So a similar tale to Washburn was another goat herder called Jack Kendall. So it go back to the 1860s, the Texas Trouble. Some Copper Canyon cowboys lynched a Creole slave goat herder named Jack Kendall from a tall creekside tree near where the bridge now stands. They amputated the runaway slave head from his body. The slavers then watched in horror as the headless body raised itself from the creek bed mud, animated by voodoo, and ripped off the head of a nearby goat to replace his own, still dangling in the noose. Regardless of which one gets told, old timers warn that knocking 3 times on that bridge is an invitation to judgment, since the ghastly Goatman only spirits away those with the bloodlines of the Klansmen or slave owners into the woods for the terrible revenge. And it's even being said that if you go knock on the bridge 3 times at midnight, or turn your car lights off, honk 3 times in summons, you'll meet Goatman, and he gonna come through smelling like a pound of decaying flesh. Numerous reports tell of glowy eyes that burn red from the darkness, eerie glimpse of large, snarling, goat-headed man-beast stomping in the woods shadows, or frightening apparitions of him carrying the heads of goats or humans in his hands. I would have dipped out as soon as I heard that stomping shit going on. I ain't gonna lie. The terrifying encounters and reported vanishes have been so frequent as to warrant numerous investigations by paranormal groups. But more than one version that attempts an explanation. For a century of recurring frights and sights occurring at the bridge. Some attribute to the work of Satanists who open up portals for hell-spawned demons, while others say Goatman's wife is eternally searching for her children. And I don't even blame her, honestly. But they say you won't even find names of Oscar Washburn or Jack Kendall in any of the historical records. And, of course, most ghosts are given names because we need to feel like we can know them. You know, like we can pinpoint them to that area. That's their spot. Shit. So, as I was looking into Denton, Texas, Goatman, I ran into Lake Worth, Texas, Goatman stories. And now I gotta go pull up and see what it's about, get the vibe and see what's popping over there, because I've never heard of it. Like, I'm shook, I ain't gonna lie. But I did get a little bit of info on it. I'm pretty sure you can definitely go and look into it a little more, watch some videos and shit, YouTube it, or even listen to more podcasts. But here's a little info that I have on the Lake Worth monster. So, entering Lake Worth, just west of Dallas and east of Fort Worth, in the middle of the lake is a landmass known as Greer Island, where the monster was alleged to have roamed. The creature has also become known as Fort Worth's answer to Bigfoot. The first photo didn't surface until 1969. The beast was said to be 7 feet tall and could hurl tires of fucking cars. Let me see you do that. So, according to Sally Ann Clark's book, The Lake Worth Monster of Greer Islands, Fort Worth, Texas, the monster jumped on the hood of a man's car. The man said that he and 2 other men were out on the island looking for the creature. When the creature landed on the hood, the man said he then swerved his car, and the monster didn't even let go until he crashed his car into a tree. But plenty of other people also claim that the monster is half goat, half man, and it is covered in both fur and scales. So it's like a fish goat. Hey, look. Alan Plaster, the man who snapped the photo of the woolen beast, think that he was back in the day tripping. But according to Plaster, he thinks that what he witnessed was a hoax, and he was most likely the victim of somebody playing a prank. Not even 24 hours later after this encounter, Jack Harris, driving on the road, going into Lake Worth Nature Center, said he spotted the creature crossing in front of him. It ran up and down in a bluff and it soon was being watched by 30 to 40 different people. And they all came out there hoping to see him, of course. I would have did the same thing too. So after everybody seen that in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, they headlined the story, Fishy Man Goat Terrifies Couple Parked at Lake Worth. With the short time, officers from the sheriff department were on the scene, observing that incredible sight. But when it appeared that some onlookers were going to approach it, the creature fired a spare tire. Like, y'all crazy for trying to even pull up on this man that close. Like, y'all don't even know. Y'all be tripping. So, that motherfucker had a ram strapped to it, too, at the time. And the witnesses jumped back to their cars. It then escaped into the underbrush. Like, y'all done ran the thing off. I would have took a couple pictures and minded my business. Like, that simple. So afterwards, of course, a couple more people decided to go in the woods and look for him, saying that it left tracks that were 16 inches long and 8 inches wide at the toes, spread out. Like, bruh. So sporadic sightings would be logged for years afterwards, but the last report was in 1969 by Charles Bucknine. Hopefully I ain't messed that all the way up. So he said he was dozing off inside his sleeping bag in the back of his pickup truck when suddenly something lifted him up. It was the monster. It was Bigfoot. It was Goat Body Man Skelly. I don't know. So he grabbed a bag with chicken in it, and the creature stuffed it in his mouth, then plunged into the lake and swarmed to Grills Island. And that was the end of it. Ain't nobody else heard anything about it. So, like, what y'all do to him? Hey, man, with that being said, what y'all think about the Goatman conspiracy or the paranormal? Me, I believe in it, so of course off top, I'm gonna believe in it, but I want to know how y'all feel about it, what y'all believe in. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for dropping by. Make sure y'all rate me, follow me, leave me a review, share me, all that good stuff. And I'm keep on bringing back y'all some mind power. I'm Kiki So Hood, your host. I'll be back for another bomb podcast.